What is going on? It is like almost 50 degrees. Oh, and it is slimy, muddy in here, but it is beautiful out. It's actually warm. The chickens are all out doing their thing. We're gonna run down here, check on their eggs, and if we are lucky, there'll be more than one, maybe two, and I'm pretty sure they will not be frozen and broken. So I think we're gonna have some luck today. Let's see if they left anything inside here. Nope, just a bunch of poop. Anything under here? Nope. Let's check back here. Oh, nothing. Oh, wait, here's one. We got an egg. One egg. Better than nothing. It's not frozen. It's not split. It's not broke. Which I'm still glad we have an egg at least, because it's getting kind of old going from a dozen to 18 eggs every day to one or two, possibly frozen, none some days. So it's good to see something, I guess. But I've been pulling this tractor around. You can see exactly where I've been. You can see all the poop. That's just working itself all the way up to over there. And so far so good. Now this is the new part of the garden. So it's actually starting with grass, where everything on this side now is the existing garden. So the grass is already gone. So now it's like mud. It's this is what I'm walking in. And it is super, super slimy. So kind of sucks because I had plans to work with the tractor today, and I really doubt I'm going to be able to do it, but we're going to find out here in a little bit. Here you guys too. Let's go kick this off quick. Hey guys. Their hay is looking a little low already. You guys eat it all already? I think their water, probably a good day to fill their water up. It's so nice out. Hey, you get down, buddy. You get down. It's so nice out. The hoses should be thawed and not so hard to lay out flat. And I think I might want to, I think I'm going to try to run a permanent, or not really a permanent, but oh, that's kind of weird. A semi-permanent hose down here. Because the problem I'm having is when it's super, super cold out in the wintertime, I have to unwind a hose, which if anyone's ever tried to unwind a hose in the middle of winter, it's already stuck in that circle form, and it just is super hard to get and pull to where you need to. So I think I'm gonna run up, I think I have a super long hose up in the barn. I'm gonna grab that, and we're gonna come down here and see if I can hook it to the faucet or the hydrant and see if we can run it and weave it down here, because it's slightly downhill the entire way. That way, when I'm done watering, I can leave the hose lay, unhook it from the hydrant, and gravity should just kind of help push the last little bit of water and moisture out of the hose. So at least it's not going to freeze solid. And then anytime I need it during the winter time, it'll be a little bit closer, a little bit more accessible. It won't be such a pain in the butt. And today, like I said, it's warm, the sun feels good. The hoses should be pretty flexible. So we're gonna see if we can give that a shot. I actually thought about grabbing the side-by-side while I'm up here, but it's just so soft. I don't even want to drive the side-by-side around over here and risk tearing up the land. But yeah, here's an extra hose. Not sure where I got it. I think it's about 75 feet, so it should work. I don't know, we'll find out here shortly. Yeah, I'm not sure anymore. My original plan was to go around the fence. I don't know if this is gonna be long enough. I actually never have unrolled this. I don't really know if it's actually 75 feet. I think I got it from a friend or something. Hopefully there's no big old holes or gashes in it. I might just try to pull it out straight once. I could always just hook a second hose to it. Hey buddy, what you doing, AJ? All right, we will see here, I guess. Might do a little wrap around here. Oh, these threads are not, that only went on like a couple turns. Not sure if that was it or not. Holy cow. Okay. We'll see how far we'll make it going around this all. Look out, goats. It's actually going a lot farther than I thought it would. Not too bad. Let's see. Oh yeah, it'll be close. I am like 5 feet short. That's okay. What I think I'm gonna do, no. I gotta play the land, and I can't have any dips because the hose just lays there and there's a dip and the water sits there, it's gonna freeze and then I'll be screwed, and it kind of defeats the whole point of this thing. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Okay, I kind of didn't want to do this, but I think I'm just gonna do it. Instead of going around the fence here, I'm just gonna run it through the chicken fence in more of a straight shot. And then that'll allow it to be pretty much a straight downward slope the entire length. So it should drain quite nice. So I'm thinking I can just slide it right under here. I got this extra post. I'll just pull it through. So we got it ran right here. I think I'm gonna tuck it right behind this post and keep pulling it that way. And right around the back of here. Yeah, just like this. And now here's my water trough. Here's my extra hose. That should work. Should work pretty good. Yeah, big goats. All right, I think we got the hose laid out pretty flat, and we're definitely playing in some mud here. Oh. Ew, yeah. There's no way I'm getting the tractor and doing any kind of that work today. But yeah, let's go kick the water on now. All right, so now we can check Make sure none of this is leaking, I guess. So far, so good. I can hear it running. We got water. I didn't see any major leaks or anything, so that's a good sign. You guys ready for some fresh water? There we go. Oh, while we got that filling, we can sneak in here and feed these guys. Jeez, get out of there. You guys are something else. Holy cow. Look out, look out. Gosh, they're just like always in your way. Always in your way. You're circling, you know what's going on. There we go. Looks like our water's just about to the top right there already. I'll run up and just stop the water. And what I did is I turned the water off and then unhooked the hose, and hopefully gravity will just, yeah, you can see it's working itself out. Yeah, there we go. So there's some extra water that would have been left in the hose and just slowly draining down this entire little slope of a hill. And hopefully it's enough of a slope that it takes all the water out of it. And I can just leave this lay down here. That way I'll have access to a hose way easier in the middle of winter when I need to fill that thing up. But yeah, we're topped off good. We're going to close them up, and then we're actually going to hit the woods and get to what I was hoping to do this whole time. So look at these guys. Shut back up quick. Looks like my center peg or center rod came out of there. Oh no, it's still in there good. Yeah, we're looking good. Okay. Power on the charger. We'll hit the woods. So if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that back there, that's the goat pasture area. Chickens are now in the garden up there. Here's my range, but that was my lawn originally. It's still kind of lawn. This is the first year we've kind of used it as a pasture. This next year, hopefully I can do some planting, maybe some frost seeding, and get some more just good stuff growing and turn it into a real solid pasture for the goat and or whatever the other animals we want. But that is about half an acre. And my property is just not set up very well. It's very hilly. We got the ravine down the middle. It's just kind of crazy. But when I started clearing out some of this area because of the tornado damage and I had to cut a trail to get back into my trees, I just seen how easy it was to move stuff around with my tractor. And up until this last year, I never had a tractor. Never thought I'd have a tractor. Didn't know I'd have the power to do what I was doing. So that's what we're gonna do today. I want to go into the woods and I want to see if I can locate more pasture room for us. Something I might need to clear out, do a little bit of work, but at the end of the day, just have more pasture for some animals. And lucky for me, I actually have these trails cut through most of my property that run around all the outside edges. So if I need to throw a temporary fence right along this, it's already mowed down, trimmed, pretty clear of clutter. So it's gonna make a lot of this super, super easy. But what's not gonna be fun is clearing some of this stuff out. This is just some wild, crazy tornado, last few years storm damage, and it's just super, super thick. I'm not so worried about the goats being up in there and they could like, you know, climb through it, jump on it, munch on it, whatever. But I'm more worried about all the branches and debris that are kind of hanging. And I don't want anything to fall on the fences, or if there's another weak tree in there and we have another storm, because we just know we get all kinds of nasty storms. I don't want something blowing over, tearing the fence down, and yeah, then the animals all escape. And so right now we're basically in the bottom, most lowest point of my property. And from here, you cannot see the house, you cannot see the barn, you really can't see anything. So it's gonna be very important for me is if I have fence and I have animals down here, and if I can't see them, I need to make sure that there's nothing going to be falling on my fence or taking something down or causing any sort of issue, because we're not gonna be able to just look out our window and see the fence. I might be able to put a camera up out here. Actually, I probably could. I mean, we're actually, in the long run, this is actually closer to the house than the goat area now, where I have the goat cam, which is a wireless Wi-Fi fed camera. We're actually closer to the house at this point. We're just a little bit lower and we got this hill kind of in the way. So that's an option. So right now we're actually basically as deep into the property as my barn would be. And from my barn back is where I typically hunt at. But from my barn forward, it's kind of fair game. And like I said, it's just really brushy. We've got a lot of stuff down. It's kind of hilly, kind of funky. And you can kind of see, there's my wood piles that I have. So my barn is right up top there. So this is kind of a prime spot here. And this is actually where I dump all of my brush and limbs and stuff right off here. And I've always thought about turning this little spot. It's kind of like a little cutout in the ravine. I always thought about just making this my dump spot for tree branches and debris, just because I cannot keep up with that much mulching or burning. It's just too much of it. But if I had one nice dedicated spot that's off to the side, I can just keep filling that area. It's good for the rabbits and the other critters too, so it's not going to be the end of the world. And then from here over, I can start making some fence and potentially put some animals out here. So once I left the chicken area and the goat area and the hose, I reached down and I'm like, why am I wet? Why didn't it spill any water on me? And I'm walking, I keep touching it. I don't know what the heck's going on. And then I realized the one egg that I pulled, I stuck in this pocket. And now it's, yeah, I crushed it. There's the shell. So this is a egg goo matter that just filled my pocket. Oh, this is gonna be disgusting. Yeah. Gosh darn it. I was wondering what that was. Figures. And so now I'm kind of at the point, like I was thinking this is where the boundary would be. So from this point that way will be potential pasture. And what actually I have is I have a hunting app that I've used in the past that, I mean, typically I use it for tracking my trail cameras, but I've also used it around the other parts of the property where it'll trace you and it'll track you. And so if I walk around an area, it'll follow you and it'll make a drawing of that area. And then you can actually draw it up and it'll create it and it'll turn it into like how many acres it is or how many, feet it is or whatever it is like that. So it's kind of nice to know. So that's what I'm gonna do out here today. I wanted to trace this entire area using this app and see if we can get, I'm hoping, like I said, 1/4 of an acre and see where we land. So I'm gonna hit track, zoom into that spot, hit start, and then I'm just gonna start walking and it should just kind of trace me. I'm gonna walk pretty darn slow because I wanna make sure it's catching me. I don't know, so it's so hilly. It's not cloudy, but it's starting to get a little bit dark. So we'll see how good this thing does. Obviously, I'm not gonna have a straight shot quite yet. I'm gonna have to kind of work around these trees, but this should give me a rough idea of the amount of land. From here, I can just follow this edge. And a lot of this will depend on how twisty and windy I want to make the fence, but I'm just kind of following along the flat side of this entire thing. And obviously, I'll have to do some tree clearing, some brush clearing. So now I'm basically back to the beginning of where the range meets the woods. and I am back to the start. So right now I basically have a real rough drawing of what we just accomplished here. So I am going to go in here, go into shape, and then I'll start it. See, it's still wandering around. It says I'm moving around a little bit. So this could be off a bit. So I'm gonna start it right here. We'll say that's right here. And I'm gonna cut some straight lines because I was having to weave around a few trees, which we might take out and remove. Ooh, even right there, we're already at 0.16 acres, so we're looking pretty good. Come over here. I'm not really sure what this jog is right there. I don't think I'm going to include it because that just seems like a tight little fence area. But I'll just go out to roughly there. Oh, we're over a 1/4 acre now, but I got to cut back inside a little bit because I was hugging the edge of that ravine pretty tight. So we're going to lose a little bit here. Boom, right there, 0.24. So we're just at a 1/4 acre of land right here that we can clear out and turn into a pretty good pasture. And there's really not a lot of big trees. It's just a lot of stuff that's down and just kind of hanging all over each other, and a lot of small stuff. So I think this is gonna be a really simple area to turn into pasture. So my original plan was to come out here and map out the boundaries just like we did and come up with the amount of land that is sitting here that we could turn into a possible pasture. But my next thing I wanted to do was bring the tractor out here today because I was really excited to just jump on this and get stuff moving. There's, like I said, there's not a lot to move, but yeah. It's too muddy though. It's too sloppy. I'd be digging trenches and just creating mud holes all over the place. I don't want to do that right now. So I'll wait for another day, maybe when it freezes again and gets really cold, maybe without any snow on the ground, I can sneak out here a few times because I really want to get this hammered out before spring and summer. I want to get ahead of the game and have this prepped and ready to go. So when spring, summer hits, I can throw out some fence, get this utilized for some animals, and just be ahead of something for once, because I'm like always behind on anything I want to do out here. But we cannot work the tractor, so we're calling it good for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. See you all next time. Later.